is Fiona, who is Chief Scientist at Environment Canterbury, and she helps people to prepare for the effects of climate change. And Fiona, you've brought us to this amazing spot where we can overlook the Waitaha headwaters, and it's actually the perfect place to talk about climate change because there's a record of how this place has changed with the changing climate right before us.
Absolutely. So behind us here you can see the Waitaha Valley, and beyond it the snow-capped mountains of the Southern Alps. But if you imagine standing here 20,000 years ago during the last glacial period, this whole valley would have been filled with ice. So our climate has warmed quite a lot since then, but the sorts of changes that we're seeing now are happening faster than we've seen any time in at least the last 2,000 years. The snow on the mountains here is really significant because each year at the end of summer, NIWA does an end of summer Snowline survey. So they fly over the glaciers in the Southern Alps and they take photos that record how much snow is left there. And that survey is a really important basis for understanding how much snow is left that can turn into glacial ice.
So there's a lot of water locked up in that snow and ice, and people living in this region rely on that water. So that's going to have a big impact. But what are some of the other impacts?
So here in Waitaha Canterbury, we can expect that temperatures might rise up to 3.5 degrees by the end of the century. We're also expecting changes in the seasonality of our rainfall, as well as fewer frosts and more hot days. But out on the coast, we can expect that as glaciers around the world continue to melt, we'll see more sea level rise and coastal erosion. And with all of those changes, right here from the mountains to the sea, we can expect impacts on biodiversity as well as on culturally sensitive sites and practices. So things like mahinga kai, wahi tapu, wahi taonga.
Yeah, so big impacts on the landscape and the people living within it. And I'm really looking forward to finding out more about those impacts throughout the field trip, but most importantly, what we can do to prepare for them and the actions that we can take. But hey, thanks Fiona for bringing us to such a special spot. Kia ora.
Kia ora.